At the time that we're recording this, JetBlue is offering a status match. And one of the interesting things about earning JetBlue status or maybe meeting some of the challenge requirements in order to have JetBlue status is that at certain thresholds, you have the opportunity to earn Move to Mint certificates. And I've flown JetBlue Mint. JetBlue Mint is very nice, perhaps arguably among the nicest business class cabins of any of the US carriers, maybe the nicest. So it seems really intriguing and pretty attractive that we might be able to move to Mint, but I don't have JetBlue Elite status. I've never used these Move to Mint certificates. And I know sometimes these things sound great, but might be hard to use. So I'm really curious, Greg. I know you have Elite status with JetBlue. Can you show us how to find availability for and how to use Move to Mint certificates?
Sure. So I have JetBlue Elite status from a prior status match that was available last year, and now my status is going to be ending pretty soon. I have two Move to Mint certificates left, and I'll show you how it's possible to use those certificates. I'm logged into my JetBlue account, and now I'm going to do a search for flights from New York to London, and we're going to see how to find how many Move to Mint certificates are required for different flights, and then how to apply them. So I'll hit search flights, and it says I may need proof of return travel because I'm looking at just a one-way flight. All right. So once the results come up, you can click into any of the search results to see how many Move to Mint certificates are required as long as you have the right level of elite status. And this seems to only work on nonstop flights. So I'll only look at these first two search results. And as you see, let's say you want to go on the 9:13 p.m. one. If you just pick the regular economy fare, then one of the things that pops up, besides the pricing for different cabins, is this text here that says Move to Mint certificates required per person 4. So that's too rich for my blood. As I said earlier, I only have 2 Move to Mint certificates, so I cannot use them for this flight. Let's try this one up here. The daytime flight leaves at 8:40 in the morning, arrives London at 8:45 p.m. This one, Move to Mint certificates required per person 2.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Oh, that's really
So
interesting. So two flights on the same exact route on the same exact day, just at different times, require different numbers of Move to Mint certificates.
yeah, it's not clear how they decide how many you need. It definitely varies from flight to flight. One kind of rough indicator is the fact that this flight only, in quotes, requires 165,000 points to book mint class outright without a certificate, whereas the other one I looked at required 290,000 points. So, the fact that that one, it's much more expensive to book mint class outright suggests that it's likely to also require more move to mint upgrades to get there. But
But
anyway,
interesting to me that both of them have charged the same price for Blue Class, though, right? So either way, it wasn't any more like or less, I guess. Either way, there was no difference in price for the Blue Award because that's, I assume, what you're going to show me you have to book in order to apply the Move to Mint certificates.
right, and that's what you'd want to book. You want to book the cheapest fare, but not Blue Basic. So even Blue Basic isn't offered on this route, but even if it was, you wouldn't be able to apply Move to Mint to it if it was available. So you would pick Blue, and you would say select Blue. You don't want to switch to Blue Extra because you want to pay the cheapest possible price, either in points or cash. I happen to do the search for using JetBlue points, but you could equally do it with cash. And then you just go through the checkout process. I'm not going to show that whole thing right now, but you go through the checkout process. And when you get to the part about selecting seats, just skip that part because you're going to be moving to Mint after you're all done. So now, without you seeing, I'm going to go through, go ahead and check out, pay the $5.60 and the points required for the economy ticket. and then we'll come right back to you to show you how to apply the Move to Mint certificates. Okay, so I booked that flight. I booked the economy flight from New York to London, that daytime flight, and paid a pretty small number of JetBlue points. But right now I'm still in economy. That's not what we want. I want to apply my Move to Mint certificates to get into business class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find that trip and click Manage Trip. And now you can see that there is a Move to Mint option right on the screen. It's really that simple.
So you just click on Move to Mint.
Just click Move to Mint. Make sure to check the box down here. It says how many certificates you're going to apply. And then it says next payment. And that might strike you odd because it should be free, right? You're just paying the 2 certificates. But in some cases, there is a small payment. So there won't be in this case. In this case, the whole payment is the 2 certificates, and I'm done. I can confirm now. But if I was flying, let's say, from London to New York the other way, then in England they charge a departure tax on premium cabins, and so, or that's more than economy. And so what they're going to do is charge you the difference in that tax that in order to move to the premium cabin. And so you will have to, in this step, pay for that small bit. Now that it's booked, you can pick your seats. And wow, it looks like on this flight, almost there's hardly anyone who's picked any seats yet. So you could, literally pick any seat you're interested in. They're all basically the same, so I don't think it matters. But there you go. And it does say review and pay, but there wouldn't be any cost to doing it. So that's all there is to it.
Very interesting. Wow, that seemed super duper easy in order to do. So it makes me think of a couple of questions. First of all, is it always possible to move to Mint? Is every flight with a Mint cabin, if there are seats still available for sale anyway, is it always available to use some number of certificates? Like in your example, you showed that one of the 2 flights was significantly cheaper than the other for a seat in Mint, but both of them were available with the right number of Move to Mint certificates. Can you always use some number of Move to Mint certificates to move to Mint?
I believe so. I don't think it's, I don't think it's set up like there has to be upgrade space. I think there just has to be seats for sale in Mint. And, then yes, then you may have to pay more certificates. But that's a pretty good feature of this JetBlue thing.
Yeah, sure. That's really cool. That's really cool. And is it ever any fewer? Like, for example, have you ever seen JFK to London available for like 1 Move to Mint certificate, or is it always like a minimum of 2?
2 is the least I've seen. Usually it's 3 or 4. 2 is actually unusual. I think where you're more likely to see 1 or 2 is with the Mint flights that are more regional, so either flying across the country or flying to the Caribbean on those kind of flights. Then I imagine there you might be more likely to see 1 or 2. But no, I was actually feeling pretty lucky to find 2 so quickly and easily for this example. But yeah, 3 or 4 is what you should expect for flying internationally.
Cool. So these seem really easy to use overall. A pretty good feature of the program. If you're able to earn Move to Mint certificates, it seems like they could be pretty useful.
Absolutely.